Hi guys, you're back for another episode of Spider Monkey Eats. Today what we're going to talk about is tofu. So I have super firm tofu here. Before you go away, because I said the word tofu, I used to have the same outlook on tofu myself. I've been plant-based for 20 months now. I just decided to do it as an experiment. One February last year after watching a few documentaries. If you have Netflix, watch Game Changers. That kind of educated me a little bit. I also watched What the Health. It just made me a little bit more curious just about becoming plant-based and limiting, not totally eliminating, but limiting my intake of animal products. I just wanted to see how I would feel. So again, did it as an experiment, 28 days, the month of February, and I ended up loving it. Don't mind that, that's just the oven preheating, okay? Ended up loving it and not wanting to go back. However, for the first year of being plant-based, I did not even touch tofu. I had my own not negative, but I guess uneducated mindset on it. Didn't even know what to do with it, even if I wanted to. I would try it, maybe if it was cooked for me in like a Thai stir fry, that's always good. But I didn't even know how to cook it myself when I could cook, meats, vegetables, grains, all these things, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with tofu. So I figured I'd show you guys just a simple way to get started. At first I was frying it, because that's what majority of recipes will say, but I didn't want all the excess oil that was going into how I was making it. Yes, it tastes better fried, per se, because anything does. However, you're adding in so many additional calories that you don't need, and the tofu is just soaking up whatever flavor you give to it. So I didn't necessarily want to always be cooking with oil. So I'm going to show you how I typically prepare it during the week, so that I know there's no extra hidden calories in it. Tofu for 3 ounces, so normally I would have maybe 3 or 4 ounces of chicken or salmon, something like that. There's still 14 grams of protein in the tofu, low calories, about 130 calories. It's not bad at all, and that's a good amount of protein for just an average meal. So I'm going to show you guys how I prepare that. So one of the first things when I started learning about tofu is somebody said you have to get a tofu press. So this I ordered right off Amazon. It's actually pretty cool. So you press it down. This is a pretty big piece, so you're gonna press it down. It has a spring in here just to press out any excess water. So I'll show you. This is all the excess water that is in here. So obviously don't want that, so that's why you press it. What we're gonna use is some cornstarch and some sea salt, just to flavor the cornstarch just a little bit, because this is how we're going to basically start out our preparation method so that it takes any flavor. So I just put a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of sea salt, and what I'm going to do, you can slice these into long pieces. I like to typically make little cubes, so I'll go down in rows. And then I cut back down the other side. Just so they're little cubes. I don't want too small ones, because then this process takes longer when it doesn't need to, or again, people do like little tofu steaks. So we have our tofu and our cubes. We have our cornstarch with our sea salt, and all you're gonna do is just evenly coat all the sides. So the best thing that I find is to use parchment paper. So again, to limit the amount of oil that I'm using, parchment paper, nothing's gonna stick to it. So we just can put it down, literally doing nothing else. I don't need to spray the parchment paper. I just keep coating my cubes, make sure I take off any excess. And then I use my parchment paper just to make sure it's not going to stick while it's in the oven. So now we have all the cubes coated, again just cornstarch and a little bit of salt. My oven preheated to 350. We're going to go in the oven. I do about 7-8 minutes, then I flip them over and I do the same on the other side. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're just going to give these a flip. Again, these are in the oven at 350 for, again, 7-8 minutes I like to do. You don't want to cook them, and by that I mean you don't want to dry them out. I just want to kind of like let this cornstarch cook into it a little bit before we move to any next steps. So we flip this, and we're going to throw it back in the oven again, still 350 for about 7 to 8 minutes. And now we're going to coat it in sauce. I have 2 options here just for today. We're going to go with a General Sauce today. What I normally love is actually the soyaki sauce. It's from Trader Joe's. It's awesome. So like a soy teriyaki sauce, that's my go-to. The General Sauce I was just trying out. Pretty good, but the soyaki is definitely my jam. So we're going to bring our tofu to the next level by, you can heat up a pan if you're going to eat it now, or you can just toss it in sauce if you're not going to have it immediately. So I'll do some food prep. Don't always eat it all right away, but the General Sauce stir-fry sauce, we can kind of heat this up a tiny bit and just mix it up with everything. So just keep in mind this definitely has some calories, more than I'd like, so just be mindful how much you're putting on. Probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons. It's not bad, or if you measure it out. The serving size is 1/4 cup, is 150 calories, but I'm not eating all this tofu at one time, so I'll just kind of throw these in here. And I'm not just going to dump it in because there's some excess cornstarch on the parchment paper, and that's going to soak up more moisture. So I can just put a few in at a time. I can kind of toss these guys around, just try to make sure they're evenly coated on all the sides. So again, I don't want too crazy excess, but I don't want it to be dry. I want it to taste good. Little shake. Make sure I get that bottom coated, and then I'm just going to, again, flip all of these. If you feel like you need more sauce, absolutely add it. Again, you don't want it to be dry. So right now I would add a little bit more, and then keep moving these guys around. Alright guys, so here we have it. Some General Sauce tossed tofu. Good protein in your meals. There's plenty of other ways without eating tofu. Like I said, my first year of being plant-based, I didn't even eat tofu at all, except on the rare occasion I got to stir fry out. I would add tofu instead of maybe when I would add shrimp. And I'm not 100% anything. I don't believe in being 100% anything. So just kind of take it in stride. This, I hope, helped you guys as like a beginner's guide to tofu. That's probably what I'm going to call this video, because I did not know where to start, and I believe I can cook. On a general spectrum, I believe I can cook, and I literally had no idea how to even attack tofu if I wanted to. So this is how I experimented and found is the easiest way, least amount of cleanup, no excess calories from oil. So hopefully you guys like this. It's really simple. Just get some parchment paper, and then you're good to go. No, I don't even have to spray it because it's not going to stick to it. Okay, and then you can coat it with whatever sauces you guys like. You can do a barbecue tofu. Again, soyaki is definitely my favorite. General Sauce, I was trying it out just to try something new. So whatever you guys like, but you can kind of customize it to whatever flavor profile you're looking to go for with your meal. If you guys like this, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Again, I made this video to try to help you out because I was clueless one too, and definitely over judgmental, but if you treat tofu right, it actually tastes delicious because it's going to pick up whatever flavor profile you put on it. If you guys never want to miss another episode of Spider Monkey Eats, definitely subscribe to our channel, Ultimate MMA Plus. See you guys next time.